Hi, how'd it go? They did what? You did? I can't take any credit for that. I'm just so proud of you. You know, this is what life looks like when you're tapped into your authenticity and equally aligned with your intuition. Remember, Mom always taught us to trust our guts. You're listening to Hey Big Sister with me, Meg. There's a different way to run your life and your business. One that allows you to truly connect with people on a human level. No more icky sales, no more comparisonitis, just you taking mindful, intentional, messy action to create success that you can be proud of. Let this episode be your guide. For the next few minutes, open your mind to new possibilities. And don't forget to pour me a little grace. I'm just like you, except I picked up the mic and started talking about all the things that go on in both of our heads. If this episode hits home for you, it would mean the world to me to have you leave the podcast a 5-star rating and written review. Also, could you do me a favor and text the link to this episode onto 3 of your best friends? You know, I'm a real human behind this mic, and I actually want to connect with you. Click the show notes below to connect with me on social media. I would love if you sent me a DM with your takeaway from this episode. You are family now. Here we go. Okay, I'm just doing it. Here we are recording my first podcast. I have wanted to do this for the last 5-6 years maybe, and it's one of the areas that I kind of just kept waiting, kept thinking this has to be perfect, this has to be edited and curated, and I have to have the perfect intro. And in the spirit of my theme for this year, this season of my life, it is just going to be done messy. I'm just going to get something out there, hope it lands with the people that it needs to land with, and we're going to move on from there. So I am so incredibly excited. I'm excited that you are listening. I am excited that you are here. I'm excited just to connect in a new way, offer value in a new way, and potentially just get to know myself in a new way too. I have had a real, struggle over the years getting used to my own voice. The sound of it even, the things that I say, feeling confident in that. I remember a time when I was younger and somebody who was well-meaning, there was no ill will or harm meant behind this, but when I was singing, told me that it sounded like cat screeching. So from that time, I really, really embodied that message. My voice was harmful, hurtful. My voice was not needed or wanted. And like I said, that did not come from a place of harm, but as a child, that's how I interpreted it. And it has taken years and years and years to tap into the places that needed to be healed in order for me to step forward in sharing what's on my mind and my heart in my voice. So I am really, really excited at the potential of what this could be. And today, on that note, I just wanted to talk more about taking messy action. I talk about it a lot. I talk about it a lot on social media. And I think we all kind of understand the concept and we know what people mean, but there's still often a fear that holds us back. And that has been part of my journey for a long time. A fear of what others were going to say, a fear of sounding dumb, looking stupid, all those things, all the stories that we create in our mind. And I have finally reached this point in my life where I'm less worried about that. But I want you to know that that came with probably a good solid 3 years of very intentional work. So that included therapy, hypnosis, tapping, journaling, massage, sound healing, yoga, all of the things. And that's not to say that anybody's journey has to look like mine, but this is just to mention that it's not an overnight process, right? This took really 3 years of being intentional with saying, I have thoughts that I want to share. I want to use my platforms, and I want to do that confidently and not be as worried or let fear hold me back. So there might be some areas in your life where it's really easy to take messy action, right? So maybe that might mean taking messy action in steps in your career, or just doing the next right thing. And there's some places in my life that I've really been able to embody that, where I've been able to, when a challenge comes up, I'm able to kind of focus and just tune in and listen to my gut and take the next right step. It might not be perfect, but I'm able to move that way. And there's other places in my life where that messy action is a lot harder to take. So I want to just talk about a few things that have worked for me in order to take messy action that helps move my business forward and helps me connect with the ideal clients that I have out there. So the first step that I really have to do in any of my business process is quiet, and I like to use journaling and meditation or hypnosis. So for a long time, I spent a lot of time looking outside, looking at other online coaches, business gurus. I wanted the answers. I wanted the playbook. I wanted to know exactly what method I needed to follow in order to find success. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There is no method. There's no one method that works for everybody in order to find success in the online space. So that is what I have learned. And I have learned that the more authentic that I can be, the more connected to my truth, higher self, higher power, whatever it might be for you, the more connected I am to that source, the more that shows in my energy and the more magnetic I become to my ideal client. So if that sounds like, okay, stop right there. Like, what are you talking about? Magnetic to your client, like connected to higher source. These are all energetic principles. We are all made up of energy. And learning how to harness that, learning how to work with that is a real superpower, especially in the entrepreneurial space. So my first go-to always is slow down, quiet my mind, journal, meditate, or do something like hypnosis. So that is what I have dedicated myself to, my morning practice. I usually do it in the morning. A lot of people, you'll hear a lot of entrepreneurs say that they wake up at 5 a.m., do their whole thing. That is not me at all. And hearing that used to really stop me in my tracks because I have 3 young kids. That wasn't going to happen for me. They didn't sleep a lot. I needed all the sleep that I could get in the morning. So my process usually starts after my kids go to school. I will find guided meditations. I have recorded hypnosises by my friend. Shout out Julie Costa. She has amazing bundles that you can get. I will put on something like that. Then I will take a break after the meditation or hypnosis is done and just keep my mind quiet and listen to what's coming up in my physical body, in my spirit, in my intuition. I will use journaling to bring that out too. So an example of that in the daily practice might be journaling through, where do I still need clarity in order to take action? Asking myself, what blocks are holding me back from taking action on X, Y, and Z? And it's always enlightening. A lot of the times it comes back to a fear of being rejected, a fear of not feeling worthy to be seen or to be heard, a fear of what if no one wants to buy? What if there's no clients for me? And it gives you the opportunity to kind of like dig at that story a little. Why do you believe that? What happened in the past? How can you bring healing to that story? Sometimes just the acknowledgement of a story happened. Maybe, you were 5, 6, 7 on the playground and you were excluded from a group, and just journaling through brings light to that situation and says to you, okay, this is where I just need to pay attention. I then look at what needs attention. And sometimes it's something like an inner child situation that needs healing. In your meditation, then you can go to that time right? Like we have the power to go back in our minds. Our body doesn't know the difference between a memory or what's actually going on in the present moment. So that's why when we are activated, when our nervous system is activated by something that is scaring us, it might be just a scary thought, quote unquote, you might not actually be in an active traumatic situation, but your body does not know the difference. If your mind is thinking about it, it thinks that there is an imminent threat. So that's the same for healing. If you have a memory that is stirred up and you feel like it is a memory that you are capable of accessing on your own and looking at, and then going to your, 6-7-year-old self and saying, you are safe now. I got you. You are safe to be seen. You are safe to be held in this. You are safe to be supported. I can't tell you how amazing and powerful that simple act has been for me. I have done some of that process in therapy, and I've done some of that process on my own as well. And each time it's super, super powerful. So the next step for taking messy action is just practicing that. Right? So taking that first step, doing it messy, throwing up a post that you feel like is not perfect, but it's good enough and it's getting your message out there. Doing that time and time again, putting that, not pressure, but putting that expectation on yourself of, I am going to work this until it works. Making that choice. That's what I should say. So changing that up to making that choice to work it until it works. And what does that require? That requires showing up. And if you are somebody that gets stuck in analysis paralysis, gets stuck in perfectionism, taking messy action time and time again is going to get your nervous system to a place where you feel safe. You see, okay, I've done it before and nothing bad happened, right? I did it before and I was able to deal with X, Y, and Z. So I see it as our responsibility to kind of look at the stories that we had and then create this new patterning in our brain. So that's why over time, once you take messy action, you start to get more and more comfortable with it. And then the last tip that I have for you is surround yourself with other people who are taking action in their lives. I think there is a lot of us that are just living the typical life following, the quote unquote rules of society. And then there's another group of us that are going after our dreams, doing things that kind of buck the traditional work system, maybe putting our dreams out there for everyone to see and to potentially purchase and things like that. And the more that you surround yourself with people who have that mindset that it's not only okay to be imperfect, but it's actually attractive. It allows you to let your guard down and not feel like you have to fit in this mold that, society or what you think the people around you are telling you. So finding other people who are on a similar path of personal development, of, putting businesses out into the world, just finding a group that is going to cheer you on when you are vulnerable and share and take a chance on, starting that business or writing that book or whatever it might be. So that concludes my podcast number 1. Now I have to figure out where to put a podcast and how to edit a podcast and all the things. But again, this is just messy action in real time. So you guys see that I am embodying the message that it does not have to be, you don't have to have everything figured out, right? You got to just take one step at a time. And maybe it's not as perfect as you dreamed of, but I think done is better than perfect. So let me know what your big goals are, what you want to take messy action on. Send me a message on Instagram. You can find me at MegO'Neill10, or you can find me on TikTok at The Messy CEO. And I would love to connect with you. So tune in next week. I don't know what the topic will be because I'm going to think of it soon. And I just look forward to getting to spend time with you on your ride in the car or on your walk, wherever it is that you listen to your podcasts. Have a great day. Before you go, Do me a favor and leave a 5-star rating and written review. The more we connect, the more the world is connected. As I love to say to all of my groups and my clients, rising tides lift all boats. See you next week.